Welcome back to the last class for the semester. I just didn't know that. So that is why I couldn't get slower in the last class. So we're talking about e-learning, multimedia learning, and cognitive principles in multimedia learning design. And that should be week 8 or last lecture. Introduction here. Electronic learning, of course, you know what e-learning is. Refers to a wide range of applications and processes designed to deliver instruction through electronic means, which builds new knowledge and skills. E-learning is what is now in vogue. So usually this forms of learning means it could be done over the web. It can also include CD-ROM or video conferencing through satellite transmission. E-learning, though, is technology-driven, but its capabilities lie more in the social dynamic of networking. And we say the revolutionary impact of e-learning lies not simply in having a multimedia platform on a single desktop. No, it is the combined power of a worldwide network of such computers, which now connect authors, instructors, and learners globally with the immediacy of text, graphics, audio, and video, as well as interactivity and collaborative sharing. That you begin to imagine that even in this National Open University, if you take a census, you discover that many of the students here are from different cities in Nigeria. Some are even from abroad. And somehow, a worldwide network is now connecting, of computers is connecting all of us together. It includes the people who are teaching, the people who even develop the course, the people who are learning. And as they are learning, the test comes out immediately, the graphics comes out immediately, the audio and video comes out immediately, and then they are interacting among themselves as much as possible. And then they can share data or information, maybe by saying, okay, I want to download the video, I'll send it to you. Everything is done like that. And that is what makes e-learning to be quite revolutionary. It's not just having a multimedia platform on a single computer, no, but using this platform to network users globally, instructors globally, and then they are now seeing the test, the graphic, the audio, and the video almost immediately as it is being shared. And at the end of the day, they can interact and collaborate together. E-learning is the online delivery of information for purposes of education, training, or knowledge management. And it is a web-based system built upon the internet platform and which provide knowledge to those who need it, where and when they need it. E-learning can be used to both as an environment for facilitating learning at schools and as an environment for efficient and effective corporate training. E-learning is also believed to encompass other learning environments like CBT, computer-based tests, online learning, and web-based training, which now signals the paradigm shift in education and training. Before now, education and training has to do with face-to-face class. You go to a class physically, they teach you, you receive your knowledge, you go back. But it has shifted even up to the e-learning platform, whereby you can be in any location in any part of the world and you receive your classes from the particular instructor without having maybe the urgency to visit that place at all. Sometimes you may not even see the environment physically where such training are done. You don't even need to see it. So that is what makes it very, very okay. Benefits of e-learning. Number one, time reduction. It reduces a lot of time. Time that it will take you to prepare, get ready, assemble your material, start going to a physical class. E-learning will cut out that time. And you can learn at your own pace. Large volume and increased access. For e-learning, you are not worried about a classroom environment. Here now, you are not talking about students. Students can be up to 5,000. You're teaching them. So in this case, they don't have to be in a physical location where the venue will be so congested, they can't hear you. Anywhere they are, they can watch your video, they can receive your class, no problem. So the access is even increasing. Cost reduction, it reduces a lot of cost. Cost of transportation to get to that venue, the time and everything, it reduces it. Then higher content retention. I think it has a higher content retention in the sense that apart from this face-to-face teaching we are doing, that is e-learning teaching we are doing, you listing and everything, you will still have the video at the end of the day. You will still have the slide. So even though you are physically present in the class, you still have the slide to go through as many times as possible. You have the video to play back on as many times as possible. So it enables you to retain content higher. Flexibility, you can learn at your own pace. You can say, no, I don't want to do this course this semester, I'll do it next semester, no problem. It's flexible. Updated and consistent materials. The truth is that the material we are using this session will not be the same material we are using next session. We update it to include a lot of new enhancements. And then there's a fear-free environment. Most of you will be scared when you are facing the instructor or lecturer face-to-face. But here, you are not seeing the person. You can turn off your video, the person is not seeing you, and you are relaxed receiving the class. Limitations of e-learning. There is need for instructor retraining. Not all the instructors are gifted in terms of delivering the content to students. So some of them need training. Some of them will just come, instill fear into the students, shout at them. At the end of the day, they end up passing no knowledge. Equipment needs and support service. We need a lot of equipment that will help us support e-learning. And then we also need support staff. Lack of face-to-face interaction and campus life. Many students, even when you talk about e-learning, they will still want to prefer face-to-face interaction. They want to see the lecturer face-to-face physically. And they want to behold the campus environment. E-learning does not give them that opportunity. Assessment, e-learning instructors may not be competent to assess student work. Yes, sometimes it goes like that. They may not be competent. Maintenance or updating, you have to maintain the site and update. It also causes a lot of problems. Protection of intellectual property. Intellectual property here means sometimes without knowing, you might end up using the work, creative work of someone's book, someone's lecture, someone's slides, without giving the person due credit. So that becomes a problem because the intellectual property of that person is not protected. The computer literacy, not everyone that even has access to e-learning will even want to know more about it. Some of them don't even have knowledge of computing. Then there's student retention. The number of students that started the journey are not always the number that completes it. Some get discouraged. So at the end of the day, many of them leave. So from 5,000 students, we may have 2,000 at the end of the day when they are graduating. Drivers of e-learning, technological change. What are those things that drive or serve as a catalyst for e-learning that make it possible that whether we like it or not, e-learning must take place? One of them is technological change. There are a lot of technological changes in the society. And so since others are doing it, we also have to do it. And because Nigeria has the highest tele density or the highest internet penetration in Africa, e-learning is easier to deliver in Nigeria because virtually 60 to 70% of the youth, they all have access to Android phone and the internet. So it's easy based on the technology that has changed over the years for them to have access to e-learning. Then there's competition and cost pressure. The school that is delivering the e-learning facility may not be the only one. There are other schools. National Open University used to be the only online university in Nigeria, strictly online. But there are many conventional universities now that are now running centers for distance learning. That is, they are running both online and face-to-face. And so they are also competing with now. Globalization, e-learning is an effective mechanism for global delivery of training to geographically dispersed workforce of students. So almost everyone in every part of the world now recognizes the imperative of e-learning. They know more about it. And so because of this globalization trend, every country wants to key into e-learning so that they are not left out. There's also continual learning. E-learning means you can continue learning from where you stopped. Continue and continue. Wherever you stop, maybe this semester I'm not in a mood to do another semester, you can pause. 2 semesters later, you can continue. It's a kind of lifelong learning. You can finish your MSc, you say you want to go for PhD, no problem. The network connectivity is also another driver. If the network connectivity is not strong, then there's bound to be internet problem. Like most of the time when I'm teaching your class now, I have access to 3 networks. Today I'm using MTN, it's working. Before I started the class, I started with Glo. I tried to connect, it didn't go. I now use Airtel, it did not go. Then I now have to use MTN. The good thing is that these 3 networks cannot all be down at the same time. One of them must be up. That is where it is good. But if I rely on one only, I may end up becoming disappointed. So network connectivity is also another driver for e-learning. If you have efficient network connectivity, I believe e-learning will move at a very fast pace. Multimedia learning, another concept, refers to the presentation of words and pictures, whereas learning refers to the learner's construction of knowledge. Therefore, multimedia learning could be said to be the process by which people build mental representation from words and picture. They are learning online, learning from what you are projecting to them. So multimedia instruction involves presenting words and pictures that are intended to promote learning. In short, multimedia instruction refers to designing multimedia presentation in ways that help people build mental representation. The way you build it, the way you structure it, and the way it is delivered is to ensure that anyone that has access to this multimedia learning facility or learning material will be able to retain more of the knowledge, maybe through pictures, through the examples you give. It will be easy for them to retain it. Rationale for multimedia learning. The major goal of multimedia learning is to assist learners towards having better understanding of the subject matter presented in multimedia presentations. The rationale, the reason behind this is that learners learn more deeply from words and picture than from words alone. So when you use only words to teach them, they may not learn more. But when you are teaching them with words and you are backing it up with picture, it helps them to learn at a faster rate. So it is important to understand how best to incorporate pictures with words, since not all pictures are equally effective for a given learning process. So our instructors must also be known to have mastered how to effectively adopt the multimedia learning technology to promote effective teaching and learning. And lastly, there's therefore the need for a research-based understanding of how people learn from words and pictures and how to design multimedia instruction that promote learning. So we need to carry out more research to ascertain the reasons why people learn more from words and pictures than from words alone. Media element principles of e-learning. We have the multimedia principle, the different principles of e-learning, media element principles of e-learning. We have the multimedia principle. People learn better from words and pictures than from words alone. Therefore, it is advisable to use both words and graphics in multimedia presentation than words alone. Contiguity principle. People learn better when corresponding words and pictures are presented near each other on the page or screen. This is due to the fact that students do not have to use limited mental resources to visually search the page. The picture and the text, they are put this close together. Then you have spatial contiguity principle. Students learn better when corresponding words and pictures are presented near rather than far from each other on the page or screen. Temporal contiguity principle. Students learn better when corresponding words and pictures are presented simultaneously rather than successively. Then we have the coherence principle. People learn better when extraneous material is excluded rather than included. When materials that may not be relevant to that particular knowledge being presented, you remove them rather than add them. The modality principle. People learn better from graphics and narration than graphics and printed text. That is, when you give the graphic, the pictures, you now narrate the story behind it. They learn it. Than for you to pick the picture and start writing a long essay after it. Redundancy principle. People learn better when the same information is not presented in more than one format. Personalization principles. People learn better when the words of a multimedia presentation are in conversational style. This is good. Rather than format style of instruction. Conversation, a book. A book is a material that you can use to write down that stories or information are written in. Can you give an example of a book, a textbook, a Bible? You stop there and you now ask the student, can you give us more examples? You have given the first two examples and you are giving the definition. They now understand that based on these two examples you have given, they can give more examples and it becomes conversational. So that is what you call the personalization principle. Clark and Mayer's e-learning and the science of instruction principle. Clark and Mayer in 2005 analyzed the following principles in their book. E-learning and the science of instruction are serving catalyst functions in promoting effective teaching or learning of sciences. Principles for creating online practice exercises. Assuming you want to create online practice exercises. Number 1, interaction should mirror the job. 2, critical tasks require most practice. 3, apply the media element principles to exercises. And 4, train learners to self-question during receptive e-lessons. Principles for leveraging examples in e-learning. I think this part of your class was quite voluminous, and I don't know why. I was thinking of stretching them into 10 classes before I was now instructed from your headquarters that it's only 8 classes they will pay for. I should not do more than that. Instead, I should summarize it, which I'm now doing. So principles for leveraging examples in e-learning. Replace some practice problem with work examples. Apply the linear element principles to examples. Use job realistic or varied work examples and teach learners to explain examples by themselves. Principles for online collaboration. 1, make assignments that require collaboration among learners. 2, assign learners to groups in ways that optimize interaction. 3, structure group assignments around products or processes. 4, models for structured collaboration, jigsaw, structured controversy, problem-based learning, and peer tutoring must be brought in mind. Principles for leveraging examples in e-learning. Replace some practice problem with work example. Oh, I think I've done this before, sorry. Principle for learner control in e-learning. Use learner control for learners with high prior knowledge or high metacognitive skills. 2, make important instructional events the default navigation option. And 3, add advisement to learner control. All these ones are just principles. We are just listing the steps. For building problem-solving skills through e-learning, use job contests to teach problem-solving processes. Focus training on thinking processes versus job knowledge. 3, make learners aware of their problem-solving processes. And 4, incorporate job-specific problem-solving processes. Then those are the principles. So let's look at the different approaches to multimedia learning. There are 2 approaches to multimedia learning, and they have been identified as technology-centered and learning-centered. 1 approach is to focus more on the technology that will be used in organizing and delivering the multimedia elements. And the second is to focus on the people who we are going to teach. So the table below summarizes the salient points concerning the 2 approaches. Design approach, technology-centered, starting point, capabilities of multimedia technology. We are thinking about the technology. Goal is to provide access to information. Issues here is, how can we use cutting-edge technology in designing multimedia instruction? For learner-centered, starting point is how the human mind works, because that is what we assimilate the knowledge at the end of the day. Goal is to aid human cognition, how human can flow and understand that part of the knowledge. Issues is, how can we adapt multimedia technology to aid human cognition? Multimedia authoring, Flash technology and development. Flash is a tool for creating interactive and animated websites. Adobe Flash, formerly called Macromedia Flash, is a multimedia platform originally acquired by Macromedia and currently developed and distributed by Adobe Systems. Flash is a multimedia graphics program, especially for use on the web, and which enables the user to create interactive movies on the web. What does Flash do? It uses vector graphics, which means that the graphics can be scaled to any size without losing clarity, and it does not require programming skills and is easy to learn. It was introduced in 1996 and has become a popular method for adding animation and interactivity to web pages. Flash is commonly used to create animation, advertisements, and various web page Flash components, to integrate video into web pages, and more recently, to develop rich internet applications. Flash can manipulate vector and raster graphics and supports bi-directional streaming of audio and video. It contains a scripting language called ActionScript. The advantages of Flash are Flash loads much faster than animated images. Flash allows interactivity Animated images do not. Flash does not require programming skills. Java applets do. Flash versions include Macromedia Flash, Flash MS, Flash 8. Much better help, new component, better video quality among these. You also have ActionScript 2.0. Then you have Adobe Flash, CS3 and CS4. Flash 8 is available in Lehi Lance, trial version of Adobe Flash CS4 on the web. So the remaining part of the material dwells on the Flash working space, environment and tools, as well as a detailed introduction to Dreamweaver. We couldn't look at them, so kindly take some time to look at them. So we can ask questions if we have, please. We can ask questions if we have. But you get your video and slide today or early tomorrow morning. But you get it because of your exam. I'll send everything to you since you are writing your exam on Friday. So I wish you the best of luck. And I pray you all pass. But again, I'm also impressed with the way you guys are giving solutions to problems on the WhatsApp page. Each time I look at it, I'll be laughing. It shows that a lot of you are reading, and I'm so happy. If I see anything to correct, I'll correct, but I'm enjoying the interaction so far. Just read them. I'll be happy that you are making use of the best method of feedback to interact among yourselves. Just that some persons will be asking anybody in Lagos. I don't have anybody in Lagos. I don't have anybody in Lagos. Some people appear to be lonely where they are staying in the country, but it does not matter. Just do your best by interacting with your mates online. And I believe you get everything right in the right perspective. So any question, please?
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening, Oga.
Yes, we like what you said, I think during the last class, that you are not going to be the examiner. It's going to be another set of people.
Yes, sir.
Yes, okay. So being the lecturer, what advice can you give us going into the exam hall? Like what and what to do and not to do, what and what to focus on, just a general advice from
My
you, sir.
general advice is what you have been doing so far, you are moving in the right direction. Get past questions. Find a way to review all of them. Funny enough, if you get up to 5 sessions past question, you review all of them. Probability is that you may get half of your questions from them. You might. They might be altered a bit. If you're able to do all your TMA inside the book, answer all those questions from the past questions, you are good to go. If you're able to do that, you are good to go.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much.
That is the very best. Don't overread. Just read to understand. Don't read to cram. And you'll be surprised when the exam comes. Basically, because you understand what you are going to write, it will be easier for you. But if you cram and you forget any conjunction, there'll be a big problem for you. So try to read and understand. And why I promote interaction among yourselves is that your mates may be able to explain everything to you in the language you can understand, but the lecturer may not be able to break it down to your level. So I'm impressed with your pace so far. So just keep it up.
Thank you so much, sir.
Many of you will smile after the exam because the first point of platform. Yes, that's what they'll be doing. Immediately after the exam, they just come. That is when many will now remember to say thank you for all what you have been explaining. Exam was easy. People that will have difficulty in this course, maybe those that missed attending the classes. They may have difficulty, but those that attended the classes and they are doing interaction among themselves, there's nothing that will make any of you fail. That is just my own.
Amen. Thank you very much, sir.
I wish you the very best as you go forward.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir.
Prepare well. Don't forget to pray when you are entering the hall. There's nothing God cannot do. So immediately after
Thank you so much, sir. God bless you, sir.
I'll be waiting for your feedback immediately after.
And a very good one at that.
God bless you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
I wish you the best. Take care. You'll get your recording this night.
All right, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.